Did you know that 70% of relationships don't end because of cheating, but because of unspoken truths? These 5 questions will reveal if yours is one of them. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. Question 2 will reveal if you're addicted to familiar pain instead of choosing unfamiliar peace. Question 3 will expose the exhausting performance that's stealing years of your life. Question 4 explains why 73% of people feel trapped, waiting for someone to change. And question 5, it forces you to face what you've always known, but never dared to admit. But first, here's your reality check. If someone said, "You're just like your partner," would your heart smile, or would you feel ashamed? That split-second reaction just revealed everything you need to know. But wait until you see what these next questions expose about your deepest fears. Question 1. If someone said you're exactly like your partner, would that feel like a compliment? This isn't about love, it's about respect. When being compared to your partner makes you feel ashamed, it means you've been avoiding a truth that's trying to set you free. Sarah from Denver messaged me. When my sister said I was becoming just like my boyfriend, a wave of shame crashed over me so hard it felt like a hard hit. That's when I knew. Your gut reaction wasn't wrong. It was the only honest thing you've felt in months. But here's what's scary. 8 out of 10 people silence that voice for years until it becomes a life of deep regret. Are you one of them? The next question will show you exactly why that heavy feeling follows you everywhere, and it reveals the addiction that's keeping you stuck. Stop right now. Take exactly 3 seconds and imagine walking through your front door to your partner. Picture their face. Feel what happens in your body. Does your heart lift, or does something heavy sink into your chest? That feeling has a name, and it's trying to save your life. But first, let me tell you about the loneliness addiction that keeps 90% of people trapped in relationships that are slowly killing their soul. Question 2. Are you truly fulfilled, or just less lonely? Here's what no one tells you. Staying with someone just to avoid loneliness is like putting a temporary fix on a big problem. It soothes the pain, but the damage keeps spreading until it destroys you. Mark, 34, stayed for 3 years because deep desperation felt safer than loud silence. But here's what he learned the hard way. Being alone is temporary. Being with the wrong person, that loneliness becomes a life sentence you give yourself. If your stomach just dropped, if you felt that sick recognition, don't look away, because question 3 is about to describe the exhausting performance that's stealing years of your life, one conversation at a time. Question 3. Are you being yourself or performing a role to keep the peace? If you're editing your words, hiding what you need, or forcing smiles to get through the day, you're not in love. You're an actor in your own life, and the performance is killing you. Jennifer told me, I was rehearsing conversations before I spoke. That's when I realized I wasn't living. I was acting in a play I never subscribed to. You know that bone-deep exhaustion after being together? That's your soul suffocating from a lack of truth. But question 4 is where it gets brutal, because it reveals the fantasy that 85% of people mistake for love, and it's the reason you feel trapped in a prison of false hope. You say you love them, but here's what I need you to answer honestly. Do you love who they are right now? Or are you gambling your entire life on who they might become? This next question destroys the most dangerous fantasy of all, and 9 out of 10 people can't handle what it reveals about the lie they've been living. Question 4. Are you in love with who they are, or who you hope they'll become? Loving someone's potential is like investing your life savings in a lottery ticket and calling it your future security. Here's the brutal test. If they never changed, if every annoying habit, every selfish moment, every limitation stayed exactly the same for the next 20 years, would you still say yes to this life? If your answer isn't an immediate, unshakable yes, then you're not in love. You're a prisoner of hope, serving a life sentence in a waiting room. And the final question? It's going to force you to admit what you already know, but have been too scared to face. Question 5. Would you want your future child or best friend to date someone exactly like your partner? This is where every excuse, every comfortable lie dies. If you'd warn someone you love, if you'd secretly pray they'd find something healthier, if the thought of them enduring what you endure makes your stomach turn, then you already know what you're avoiding. David told me, "The moment I imagined my daughter with someone who treated her like my girlfriend treated me, I wanted to shield her from that pain. Then I understood I was protecting everyone in the world except myself." Your protective instincts never lie. They shout what your heart already knows. The question is, are you finally brave enough to listen? These 5 questions weren't designed to fix your relationship. They were designed to save you from a life of deep desperation. Maybe you just realized you have something rare and beautiful that you'd forgotten how to appreciate. Or maybe you've been choosing familiar pain over unfamiliar peace, and today that ends. Either way, your answers just gave you the most expensive gift in the world: clarity. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't unknow what you now know. You can't go back to the comfortable lies. So here's the only question that matters now. What are you brave enough to do with that truth? Write your 5 answers right now. Don't edit, don't soften, don't lie to yourself anymore. Just write. Then do the scariest thing. Share them with someone who loves you enough to tell you the truth, even when it breaks your comfortable lies. And if these questions just cracked your world open, hit subscribe. Because this community doesn't run from hard conversations. We sprint toward them. Your future self is watching every choice you make in the next 24 hours. They're not judging you. They're just hoping you finally choose yourself. Don't let them down.
If it is up to you, it gets 100%. If it's not up to me, it gets 0%. The stuff that you're worried about, it'll happen or it won't. Worrying doesn't affect it. This isn't something I have to do. It's something I get to do. This isn't something that happened to me. It's something that happened for me.
Protect your peace. Not everyone deserves access to you. Ever walked away from someone feeling like they took something from you, even though they said almost nothing? That's not small talk gone wrong. That's your peace being pulled apart in silence. Not everyone deserves access to you. Some people drain your energy. Others disrupt your focus. Even the well-meaning ones don't understand what you're quietly building. You protect your peace not to shut others out, but to stay close to what matters. That quiet gut feeling? It knows what's right, even when you can't explain it. You don't owe the world your time, thoughts, or energy. Stillness isn't weakness. Boundaries aren't rudeness. Stay till the end and I'll show you why peace isn't found. It's built, starting today. This is about making room for your goals, for your healing, for your clarity. What is stillness?
Stillness is the key. The secret to charging ahead is slowing down, seeing things clearly. My best work never comes when I'm doing 50 things at the same time. Marcus Aurelius talks about how we want to be the rock that the waves are crashing over and eventually fall still around. Can you tune out what's happening outside? Can you tune out the crowd? Can you hit the game-winning shot? Can you focus on what you need to focus on? Can you see things clearly without the bias and the immediacy of the moment? That's why stillness is so important. That's why the Stoics talk about it over and over again, and why it's such an important rule of life.
Stillness doesn't mean do nothing. It's sending the email you've avoided, finishing the workout you didn't want to start, or choosing to breathe instead of react, all with calm focus. It's strength that doesn't shout, focus without frenzy. The Stoics called it apatheia, being unmoved by chaos. The Buddhists called it clarity. We call it peace, and it's a practice. In stillness, a subtle wordless voice guides you through feelings, pointing to what's truly right without needing a reason. Ryan Holiday, in Stillness is the Key, says stillness isn't just calm. It's the doorway to self-mastery. Shunryu Suzuki, in Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, teaches that calmness shines in action.
Marcus Aurelius says you could be good today, instead you choose tomorrow. We put it off. We say, I'm gonna get started on the diet, I'm gonna get started on the novel, I'm gonna get started cleaning the house. I'm not gonna do it today, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. If it was about information, no one would be overweight, no one would be unhealthy, everyone would have six-pack abs, every project would get completed. We know how to do it. The problem is that we don't do it, we don't take the steps. That's why the Stoics had the discipline of action. At the end of the day, it's all about the action. It's not what you say, it's not what you think, it's what you do. What action are you gonna take? What step are you gonna take? And really, that's how you finish stuff, step by step. Just take the first step, Marcus Aurelius says. No one can stop you from that.
Where to start? If all of this feels like a lot, start with just one thing. Wake up 10 minutes earlier without your phone. Let silence be your first win of the day. Small shifts create momentum. Peace begins with one quiet choice. 10 ways to protect your peace and practice stillness. Number 1, wake up before the world. The early hours are sacred. No noise, no demands. That quiet, it's your edge. Number 2, start phone free. Skip the phone for 30 minutes after waking. Let your mind rise before the world does. Create before you consume. Number 3, step outside. Nature doesn't demand, it just is. Walk, sit, breathe. Presence lives in fresh air, not screens. When was the last time you were truly present, without your phone for proof? Number 4, journal what matters. Don't just think, write. Empty your head on paper. One sentence is enough. Clear your mind before the world fills it. Number 5, do the main thing first. What's the one task that moves your life forward? Tackle it before meetings or distractions creep in. Win the morning. Own your energy.
Marcus Aurelius says, ask yourself with everything you do and say, is this essential? Because most of what we do and say is not essential. And he's so right. Most of what we do is because people asked us to do it, or people told us to do it, or that's how we've always done it. Do we actually need to do it? If we found out we were dying tomorrow, would we keep doing it? Would we do it the way we're doing it? Absolutely not. So he says, when you ask yourself, is this essential? You eliminate so much of what you don't need to be doing. And then he says, you get the double benefit of now doing fewer things better. That's why you ask yourself this question: is this essential? Do I actually need to be doing it? Am I doing it the way that it needs to be done? And you ask this of everything you do and say and think.
Number 6, build sacred routines. Routine creates structure. Structure holds peace steady when life shakes. Start small, a few repeatable steps each morning. Number 7, create quiet hobbies. Pick something screen-free. Paint, garden, walk. Restoration isn't optional, it's fuel. Number 8, move daily. Stillness isn't sitting still. Movement calms mind and body. Walk, stretch, let action settle your thoughts. Navy SEALs train calm through movement, not stillness. It's a mental reset in motion. Number 9, guard your relationships. Peace isn't just solo. It's who you let in. Choose people who bring calm, not chaos. Number 10, say no more often. Every yes costs energy. Say no to what drains. Protect your peace by choosing where your energy goes. Deep practices of inner peace, knowing what's in your control.
This comes to us from Epictetus. He says it's the chief task of life, which is focus on what you control. Is it up to me? Is it not up to me? If it is up to you, it gets 100%. If it's not up to me, it gets 0%. We focus on what we control because that's where our energy, effort, and emotions actually make a difference.
Focus only on what you can control. Let go of the rest. This one shift saves hours of overthinking each week. What if the hardest part isn't letting go, but knowing what's actually yours to carry? Radical presence. Stop multitasking. Show up.
It takes an immense amount of self-awareness to go like, I'm feeling discomforted because of X, or I'm feeling anxious because of X. Suddenly, I wasn't doing anything. So I wasn't having to get to this plane. I wasn't stuck in traffic here. I wasn't having to prepare for this or that. You'd think that my anxiety would go way down, that suddenly you'd have a lot less to worry about. And then actually that's not true. And then you realize, oh, the anxiety has nothing to do with any of the things. Mark Aurelius talks about this in Meditations. He says, I escaped anxiety. And then he goes, no, actually I discarded it because it was within me. That was a breakthrough I sort of had. I was like, oh, I thought I was stressed and anxious and worried because of all of these very reasonable things that cause those things in your life, work, family stuff. And then when all that gets pared down, you realize it's like, oh no, it was me.
You don't need more time, just more now. True presence means tuning into that subtle voice within, beyond fear or illusion. The breakthrough most miss. Peace isn't passive. It's power, volume low. The world wants you reactive. Real strength is calm, selective, aware. The power of enough. Stop chasing, start seeing. Those with enough often live fullest. Memento mori. You could leave life now. Let that shape what you will say, do, and think. Peace makes the shortness of life count. Final thought. You don't need to explain boundaries. You don't need to justify solitude. You don't need to share growth still rooting. Guard your peace, not from fear, but because your future rests on the calm you keep today. Not everyone gets to come along. Eckhart Tolle wrote, "The power for any experience of enlightenment lies in the present moment." By practicing stillness, you're not just prepping for tomorrow, you're living now. What's one thing you're done letting mess with your peace? Drop it in the comments. If this sparked clarity, subscribe. I share one video a week like this to keep you grounded. Life can end at any moment. Let this fact guide what you choose to do, say, and think. Marcus Aurelius.
You could leave life right now, as Marcus Aurelius says, let that determine what you do and say and think. Life is short. Do everything as if it was the thought or action of a dying person.
Being invested in the fantasy of a person, their potential. The reason that we go on a date with someone and we put them on a pedestal and we get so excited about them is because we've allowed the story to get ahead of where it really is. We're very good at creating story. We imagine where this will go based on their qualities, based on how great we are together. We imagine where it will go, where it could go, and that story starts playing out in our imagination. Often an area where you're getting disproportionately nervous is an area where you've built up too much story about what it could be. I've been disappointed before. I've texted someone that I wanted to see again or that I wanted to see for the first time. I've asked for their number, we've exchanged details, and then when it comes to getting on a date, they never follow through. And I'm like, oh man, because I know in my head I've already built this up to be something. She was really pretty when I approached her in that coffee shop, and you know, there was a certain way about her, and she sort of looked like the love of my life. I think this is the person, right? You go into that mindset, and then when they don't call you back for a first date, when they don't go out on a date with you, you think you've lost something really special, right? But that's antithetical to the idea of having something special. Because having something special is when someone is actually trying. When someone is actually with you for the ride. That's the truth of what's special. It will reveal itself to you because it's obvious.
People will disappoint you. Picture this. You're a kid opening a gift you are sure is your dream toy, and it's socks. Or maybe it's recent. A friend bailed. A promotion slipped away. Or someone you trusted let you down. That sting? It's universal. But what if I told you disappointment isn't your enemy? It's your secret weapon. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a toolkit that can turn your deepest letdowns into your greatest strength. Disappointment is the most democratic emotion. Rich, poor, young, old, no one escapes it. I remember my first real letdown. I was 10, waiting for my dad to show up for my school play. I saved him a seat in the front row. He never came. That empty chair taught me something crucial. Disappointment isn't just about what happens. It's about what you expected it to mean. The pain wasn't just his absence. It was the story I told myself about what his presence would have proven. Uncertainty is the only certainty. The one permanence is impermanence. Life doesn't owe us the outcomes we imagine, but disappointment doesn't have to break you. It can shape you. Stick around and I'll show you 15 core tools, plus powerful mindset shifts that will change the way you experience pain forever. Reflection prompt. Pause this video for 5 seconds. Think of the last person who truly disappointed you. Got it? Good. Because everything we're about to explore is rooted in that exact feeling. Section 1. Why disappointment hurts. That person you just thought of, they didn't disappoint you to hurt you. They disappointed you because you expected something they couldn't or wouldn't give. The expectation trap. Every disappointment starts with an unspoken contract. If I do this, you'll do that. But the other person never signed it. Our pain comes from the gap between what we imagined and what happened. Feel it fully. Don't skip past the hurt. Don't numb it. Sit with it and ask, What did I need that I didn't get? Naming the unmet need is the beginning of healing.
Those of us who expect disappointment do not let ourselves feel positive emotion. We feel a kind of familiar, safe comfort when we are feeling negative emotional states, like sadness, because when we feel that way, we are sure that there is no further to fall, and that we will not be able to be disappointed from that place. This is important to understand. If you are a person who thinks that depression or sadness feels real, or that there is a kind of familiar hominess and a settled trust in negative emotional states like depression and sadness, the reason is that you not only expect it, but you are also desperately afraid of disappointment. And the only time we are guaranteed emotional safety, therefore, is when we are already feeling unhappy. Those of us who expect disappointment panic when things are looking up. We're always trying to look for the negative in every situation so we don't get blindsided by it. We experience love as a kind of nostalgic missing of something before that object of our love is even gone. We feel the most powerless and desperate when things go well for us because we live our lives according to the belief that the universe is out to get us and that the higher they rise, the harder they fall.
The perception gap. What we feel happened isn't always what actually happened. Ask, what did they say, and what story did I attach to it? Closing that gap builds clarity. The build-up effect. Maybe the letdown hit hard not because of what they said, but because of what came before it. One more thing on top of a bad day. That's not weakness, that's overload. Anger is a mask. Often, what looks like anger is really disappointment trying to protect itself. You weren't mad first, you were hurt. The investment factor. The deeper your investment, the harder the fall. That's not foolish, it's human. But knowing where you placed your hope helps you reclaim your power.
Most of us who experience the expectation of disappointment see ourselves as a disappointment. We expect ourselves to be a disappointment. That's because when we were little, we felt like a disappointment to the authority figures who were around us. Teachers, family members, parents, maybe even siblings. Nothing we ever do is good enough to mean that we have worth and value. If things went well for us, it would mean that we are worthy of them going right for us, and we simply can't believe that. We believe we're not worthy of positive treatment by the universe. We think we do not deserve things to work out for us. We think we do not deserve that big break or that perfect mate or that pay raise. We don't know why we don't deserve life to go well for us or what we did to deserve that pain. All we know is that we must deserve it, because that is what we have become accustomed to getting. What's even worse is that those of us who fear and expect disappointment train ourselves to expect the worst case scenario. Now, this is a problem in a reality where mind creates the universe you live in. When mind creates reality and you expect disappointment, you are literally in the creation pattern of disappointment. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I want to remind you that when you're working with somebody who is currently in the vibration of expecting disappointment, or if you yourself are expecting disappointment, the very worst thing you can do is to remind someone that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. This does no good. In reality, all it does is make a person feel shame for expecting disappointment. It causes them to worry about the way that they are worrying. If you're the kind of person who chronically expects disappointment, it's important to make a list of times that you expected disappointment, or the worst case scenario to happen, and it didn't occur. Maybe we expected we would be stood up on a date, but they just ended up being late because of a traffic jam. Maybe we expected someone to die, but they ended up recovering. Maybe we expected an opportunity to fall through that just took a little more time to come through. The point is, when you are looking at proof that disappointment does not always happen to you, your brain cannot attach to the expectation of disappointment with so much fervor anymore. The basic fear that lies underneath the lives and minds of those people who expect disappointment is the belief and the fear in powerlessness. Mainly, the powerlessness that is felt is the idea that one does not create their own reality. People who expect disappointment think that life happens to them, that they have no real way of controlling whether they feel good or whether they feel bad. I want to repeat this because it's so important. The only people who fear disappointment are those who think that they do not ultimately have control over their lives. They think that their life experience is determined by something larger and more powerful than them. Many of us who carry the belief that we create our own reality do not carry this belief to our core, because the belief in our powerlessness runs even deeper. It is a holdover from our childhood experience. If you expect disappointment, it's crucial that you prove to yourself that you create your own reality. The way to do this is to use visualization every day, only 5 minutes a day.
Section 2. What disappointment teaches. Disappointment isn't life punishing you. It's life redirecting you. Set boundaries. Disappointment reveals where your energy has gone unchecked. Don't punish others. Protect yourself. Love people, but know when to love them from a distance. Communicate clearly. Use I statements. I felt unimportant when, rather than you always. The first creates dialogue. The second builds walls. Take care of your body. Your nervous system reacts to disappointment like danger. Sleep, eat, move, replenish yourself on purpose. Don't personalize patterns. When someone consistently lets you down, believe their actions. Don't expect them to change. Prepare yourself to respond differently. The illusion of control. We think we know how life should go, but the more we release that belief, the freer we become. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It means peace with reality. Let's reset. Think again of that recent disappointment. You knew exactly what it was the moment I asked, right? That's not a coincidence. That's a message. What if that pain wasn't a mistake, but an invitation? Section 3. Moving from reaction to mastery. Practice letting go. Want what you want, but don't cling. Desire can be powerful. Attachment, though, is often where suffering grows. Don't react from desperation. Pause, breathe. Most impulsive reactions create more pain. Wisdom waits. Stillness builds power.
You don't go about building expectations. You just work upon building your body and your mind to enable yourself that you can use it to the fullest extent. We don't know how you will use it. What you do in this world should be relevant to the situation in which you exist, isn't it? Action is always about the situation, not about you. If this one thing, if you get it, then there'll be no expectation. Simply you do what's needed. There's no need for any expectations. Just enable yourself. Whatever the situation allows, we'll do. This is all you have to do. Build your body and your mind in such a way that you can use it to the fullest capability. So whatever kind of situations arise in front of you, accordingly you act, not the fancy way you like.
Change the story. Shift your internal dialogue. This always happens to me. This taught me something I needed. That's how you take back control of your story. Grow in the pause. Sometimes the growth is in the waiting. The space between what you wanted and what actually happened can be the best place for growth. Find the gift. Every setback carries information, insight, clarity, even a boundary. That's your gift. Don't miss it. Breakthrough moment, the disappointment paradox. Disappointment is training, and the more you show up for it, the more life will trust you with responsibility, relationships, and reward. Charles Dickens said, "In every life, no matter how full or empty one's purse is, there is tragedy. It is the promise of life, and it always fulfills. Thus, happiness is a gift, and the trick is not to expect it, but to delight in it when it comes. If betrayal crushes you, you'll fear intimacy. If criticism breaks you, praise will distort you. But if you learn to meet disappointment with curiosity, resilience, and presence, you stay steady no matter what. Sometimes not getting what you want is life redirecting you. Write this down. My ability to wait is my strength." Section 4. Disappointment as creative fuel. Use it. Let it drive your art, your business, your clarity, your next chapter. Robert Towne said, "If you're looking for inspiration, talk about what you're angry about." Disappointment often holds a voice that needs to be heard. Make something, write something, say something. You don't need to be over it to begin. Final tools and takeaway. 15 tools to master disappointment. Number 1, feel it fully. Don't numb or run. Number 2, identify what you needed. Number 3, take care of your body. Number 4, use I statements, not blame. Number 5, adjust expectations to reality. Number 6, protect your energy, set boundaries. Number 7, see the redirection. Number 8, practice letting go. Want, don't cling. Number 9, don't act in desperation. Pause first. Number 10, keep moving forward. Here is powerful. Number 11, change how you tell the story. Number 12, take a moment. Sometimes you grow most when you slow down. Number 13, find the gift. There's always something inside the pain. Number 14, build your rebound muscle. Practice staying calm when things go wrong. And number 15, be happy that you are able to change direction, to adapt. Bonus practices. G3 journal. Gratitude, goals, goodness. Daily reflection. Friend hat. Coach yourself like you'd coach your best friend. New chapter. Write, if I started again, to reset perspective. Buy tickets. Shift your space. See something new. Health first. Sleep, eat, move. Double down when disappointed. Final challenge plus call to action. What things have you told yourself will never happen that you might need to believe in again? What limits used to be true but aren't anymore? If you feel like disappointment is becoming a pattern, reach out. Therapy, coaching, or honest conversation can shift everything. Your turn. Comment below. What's one disappointment you're ready to reframe? And which tool will you try this week? Disappointment isn't your downfall. It's your superpower. You've got this.
Have you ever been interrupted mid-sentence? Like your words didn't matter? It's subtle, but it hits deep. You freeze. You doubt yourself. And hours later, you're still replaying it in your head. Here's how to shut it down in 7 words. 1 move, 1 shift. It changes everything. And It starts with stillness. If you stay until the end of this video, you'll learn how to earn real respect without raising your voice or saying more than you need to. Section 1. Why respect matters. Respect isn't about feelings. It shapes your peace, your safety, and your success. In relationships, it builds trust. At work, it builds loyalty. In life, it builds power.
Who your partner is, we talked about that before, bar none, that is really such a crux of how well you're gonna do in life. They're either gonna raise you up or they're gonna sink you down.
There was a moment when I decided to make a change. Someone cut me off while I was speaking, in front of everyone. I froze. I said nothing. And that silence, it stuck with me. Not because I didn't have a response, but because I gave away my power. Until I found 7 words that changed everything. Let me finish my thought. Then it's your turn. Not aggressive, just certain. And from that day forward, I never let silence steal my place again. That tightness in your chest when someone talks over you, that's not insecurity. That's your self-worth being stepped on. You can't beg for respect. You earn it through presence, clarity, and control. Section 2. Respect starts with you. Respect doesn't start with them. It starts with how you treat yourself. Over-explain too much? Apologize when you're not wrong? Try to be liked by everyone? You're teaching the world to overlook you. Decide one thing you're done tolerating. Starting now. That's the start of self-respect. Quiet, clear, unshakable. But self-respect alone isn't enough. Some people will still test you. Why? Because you're accidentally doing the one thing that tells them, you can push me around. Section 3. The 3 S's of respect. Now, let's keep it simple. The 3 S's of respect. Slow. Speak slowly to control the room. Steady. Hold eye contact to show confidence. Silent. Say less to make them listen more. Slow words equal people listen harder. Steady eyes equal people back off. Fewer words equal more power. What this shows is simple. I'm not here to impress. I belong. Repeat it with me. Slow, steady, silent. That's your new baseline. Section 4. When they still cross the line. Even with the 3 S's, some people will test you. They're used to people cracking under pressure. But not you. Reacting is weakness in disguise.
A lot of times too, we build up people in our heads and we think like they're these high apex individuals. They're not. They prey on people weaker than themselves. And why? It makes them feel stronger and better, more powerful. Why do you need to do that? Because you feel weak. That's why you do that. That's why you bully. That's why you push. Because you feel a void and you look to fill that void by taking from other people. And that's what makes you feel strong.
Stillness is real power. If someone crosses you, don't yell, don't defend, don't explain. Say this, once, calmly and clearly. When you interrupt me, it feels disrespectful. Please let me finish. If this continues, I'll end the conversation. Then stop talking. But if someone throws a fake polite jab, just ask, what did you mean by that? That question flips the pressure back on them, without a fight. Imagine your boss cut you off. You don't argue. You say, I'd appreciate it if you let me finish. That's it. Simple, strong, and done. Section 5. The long game of respect. Respect isn't built in a single moment. It's built by what you allow, what you end, and what you walk away from. Stay steady when others fold. Follow through, quietly. Choose friends who protect your peace. Keep promises, especially to yourself. Here's the truth that stings. Disrespect repeats because you've allowed it. Want proof? Count how many times you've said sorry this week when you weren't wrong. It's not always them. Sometimes it's your pattern. Want to break that pattern for good? There's one question that does it. and most people never ask it. Section 6. The Psychology of Respect. Respect is about how people see you, and how they see you is shaped by how you carry yourself. Stand tall, not puffed up, just grounded. Speak clearly, not endlessly. Say what matters, and nothing more. People respect what's rare. And what's rare? Someone who doesn't chase approval, doesn't need to prove anything, owns their space without asking for it. And that's your new bar.
How do I stop myself becoming prey to a predator?
You stop acting like prey. If it's personal relationships, you have to set the intention of the relationship from the beginning how you want it to go. So let's do work. Work is an easy one. I'm not there to be your friend. I can be friendly, but I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not there to be super nice to you or super sweet or super kind. I can be warm. I can be respectful. I can be compassionate. I can be those things, but I got to bring the right version of me to a work environment, because then I set the tone of like, well, is Evie my friend or is Evie my boss? Like, what am I dealing with here? Like, always keep that level of professionalism. I make a point to do it because then it just becomes really awkward if people are your friends. Can you balance a relationship like that? You just got to be really, 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 really good.
Section 7. What to do when you're triggered. Let's talk about the moment no one sees coming. When something small hits too hard. When you freeze, shut down, or lash out, and later wonder, why did I react like that? That's not weakness. That's your brain doing its job at the wrong time. See, when you're triggered, the emotional part of your brain, the limbic system, takes over. And the prefrontal cortex, the part that thinks clearly, goes offline. And that's why just calm down doesn't work. It feels impossible, because it is. Most people wait for the storm to pass, wait to think straight again. But that wait, it can cost you. You might say something you regret, or give away your power in silence. Again. Here's the better move. Train for the trigger. Just like muscle memory, you don't wait for the moment. You prepare ahead of time, in a safe space, with a therapist, a friend, or on your own. Rehearse the moments that set you off. When someone raises their voice, when you feel ignored, when someone shuts down emotionally. Then name what's happening. Like, I feel my chest tightening. My brain wants to shut down. And respond with a tool. Ground yourself. Name the feeling. Set a boundary, even if it's quiet. The more you practice responding while activated, the easier it becomes to stay steady, even in chaos. You can't always control the trigger, but you can train your brain to respond instead of react. And that's what real self-respect looks like. People respect what's rare, confidence, consistency, and someone who doesn't flinch under pressure. Final section, your move. Now, ask yourself, am I about to react or respond?
Don't come in and literally like make yourself a doormat or like overextend, because the more you overextend, even a good person is gonna be like, oh, that's just how she is. That's how he is. They get used to being like that. And people like being catered to. They like feeling like they're above. And so now you create this role dynamic of I'm subservient and you're here. So you want to make sure that no matter how excited you are to work with someone or be with someone, that you don't create this disproportionate thing. You want to keep the seesaw level. It'll go up and down. Everybody assesses everybody. Everybody sizes people up. They do it intuitively. People meet you, they size you up. Oh, he seems like this, she seems like that. She seems like she's gonna be this way. Project what you want them to feel. I'm here, I'm warm, I'm open. I'm happy to be here again, thank you for having me. Let's talk. But at the same time, you can also think about how you sit, how you carry yourself, your voice, your tone. All these things play alone together.
Reactions are loud. Responses are quiet, but unstoppable. One feels strong, the other is strong. Quick recap. Speak slow. Stay steady. Say less. That's how you become the kind of person who never needs to demand respect, because you already command it. If you connected with this, subscribe. More real tools like this every week. Thanks for watching.